Welcome back to the channel, guys, and if you want to start creating your own tactics, then this video is the one for you. First of all, we need a team, and just to show you guys watching that we're going to do this definitely from scratch, and I'm just going to pick a team randomly. I'm going to let FM pick it. I'm going to click it once. Whoever we get, that's the team we create the tactic for, and hopefully it's a team that I don't know the players. Montpellier. So here we are at Montpellier, and the first thing we need to do when creating a tactic is we need to find out who the best players are. So we're going to go to selection info, general info, and then we're going to sort by ability. That gives us the list of the players that we want to fit in the team to give us the best chances of getting points. Right? Makes sense. So, just have a quick look, really quick skim through. We've got a goalkeeper, which is fantastic. That should help us out at one end of the pitch. We've got a right back and a left back, so a strong defensive unit at the minute. We've got a good two centre midfielders. We've got Wabi Kazri, who can play in a number of positions. And then we're going down a bit further here. We've got a lot of 3-star players, which is very, very good, to be honest. 2 5-star potential players there in Esteve and Chotard, which means we want to try and get those two in. So another centre midfielder and a centre back. It looks to me, just looking at it really fast, that a 4-3-3 with a DM looks to be the best. So we're going to go into the tactics screen, and we're going to go down to the bottom, and it says create your own style. I don't use any of the other ones because why would you do that? That's the game doing it for you, not yourself. You can do that, but I think they only work to a certain point, and then you have to tweak them, and then I think if you can tweak it, you might as well make your own. So this video is for that, right? So you can make your own, and it's your work, not the game's work. So we're gonna find a 4-3-3, which is there. We're gonna hit confirm. Fine. So okay, go back to squad a second, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on Savanier, and we're gonna drag. We're gonna stick him on one of the centre midfield positions. Doesn't matter where for now. Drag the goalkeeper. I'm not quite sure what we do with him. For now, he's gonna lose his pace. The thing is as the season wears on, is he worth playing because he's not going to improve? So we're going to try and bring this team forward. So is he going to be worth it? If we're in a journeyman save, I'd probably play him in just in there, right? This is we're gonna plan for Montpellier and how you guys would do it in your saves. I think maybe he doesn't play, and he's a very, very, very nice backup to be able to bring on in all these positions up here in the front 5. So I think we move Wahi over. And then I think we bring in Nordin, who is actually an inside forward. But we're going to start the goalkeeper. And for a goalkeeper, we're going to have a look at the centre-backs. And we're going to find out that actually he's really fast. And Julian is also quite fast. So we could, if we wanted, play sweeper keeper. Let's have a look at his attributes really fast. You guys can't see that. So I'm going to click on there. So reflex is 16, positioning 16. Very good mental attributes, this goalkeeper. I do like him. I'm thinking if I would play a high line, I think we're just going to leave him as a normal goalkeeper for now. I think that's what we're going to do. Fullback, Falai Sako. He's a wingback all day long. Fast, very good tackling technique. Off the ball's very good. Anticipation, crossing, dribbling. He's a wingback. His traits are fantastic as well. If you watched my last video, which is just up there now, I went through the traits and he's got the perfect ones. So he will go as a wing back on this side. For now, he's going to be support. We'll see if that changes. And the other side, we've got Mawasa, the left-hand side. So he's also got fantastic traits for this one. And he's also a wing back, looking at his attributes. He can play full back, but I think he's a wing back. There we go. Wing back support. Now, a lot of people, what they might do there is they might be looking at this screen and thinking, Lewis, well, he's 3 stars here, but he's 3.5 stars here. Why would you not just make him attack? That's not how the game works, unfortunately. Because what will happen is in the game, he'll be sat up here. He'll be sat up here. Are these 3 good enough against Liga teams to be playing on their own and defending on their own? Probably not. If you've got Van Dijk and, well, maybe not Van Dijk this season, but if you've got Prime Van Dijk and, I don't know, Prime John Terry, just the first defender I thought of, then maybe you could get away with that. But I can't get away with them both on attack. Maybe we can get away with one on attack. But for now, both are going on support, because you don't need to push him forward. He'll still go forward on support. It's no problem. Off to the centre-backs, and I think we're just going to leave it as centre defensive and defend, central defender on defend. Nothing, no frills, nothing stupid, nothing crazy. We're just going to leave it on that for now. Nothing ridiculous. So, into defensive midfield, we've got Chotard. Now, this guy is not as standard like as you would think of a DM. So, maybe looking at him, I like him. I'm not going to lie, I do like him, and he's not really Although it's saying that he's very good at ball-winning midfielder. I don't think I want him as a ball-winning midfielder. I think what I want him as for right now is a defensive midfielder on defend. But that's because of these two roles that I'm going to show you here. Now, Ferry is a deep line playmaker to me. That's what he is. His traits, his attributes, for me, make him a deep line playmaker. He's got good passing, good technique, good teamwork, good vision, well, decent vision, good off the ball, good, decent flair for a defensive midfielder and centre midfielder too. Very good mental traits, very good player traits, which lend themselves really to getting the ball, which when he comes deep to get it, and he likes to switch the ball to wide areas. So for me, he's a deep line playmaker support. Now I think this role here in DM is going to change as and when we play games, right? As and when we play some games, that will change. So what it might happen is if we're playing against two strikers, we might make him a halfback, right? Which I'd say he's really good at. So he'll drop in here. He'll drop in here. And then hopefully, eventually he'll drop in here. And maybe he'll go up there. And in game, we'll get something a little bit like this. Maybe even a bit like this. And then it's very balanced in terms of a guy drops in. You've seen it in real life, right? A guy drops in, fullbacks push on. We've got a centre midfielder coming deep to get the ball, and one linking the guys up front and then pushing on, etc. So that's what it'll probably look like in game. What I'm doing is I'm trying to build a picture in my mind of what I want and what I think this team would be best at doing. Right, that's what I think. So next we've got Savanier. Now Savanier, looking at him, is a Mazzala really. Good flair. Very good technique, passing, long shots, free kicks, dribbling, corners, agility. We want him up there. Right, we want him up there. And then as he's pushing into here, we want this guy nodding. We're going to make him an inside forward or inverted winger. On the left wing, I think what I'm going to go with is an inside forward on attack. Now, because this guy is basically Wahi is a striker. Now, he's got good pace. We're going to train his off the ball and all those striker attributes, because eventually, if what we might want to do is we might want to make him a striker. So he's going to be our sort of Thierry Henry project. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to make him inside forward left for now, right? No problem. And I can make him attack because Ferry will be more conservative because he's a deep line playmaker. I'll put this guy in support because he's paired with an attacker down here, and I don't want them both going gung-ho and we're getting attacked and Sakho's there on his own defending and like, guys, where are you? Right? We don't want that. So that's the reasoning behind that. And then when we go to striker, what we want, Mavididi, as we look at him, he looks like he could be a good pressing forward, but also a good advanced forward. Now that role might change depending on the game again. If we're playing against a top team, I might want an advanced forward because he'll look to jump in behind the defence, right? But if I'm wanting to play more of a control type of game, possession type of game, I want a pressing forward because he'll harry the defenders, get the ball back, and then we can play with the ball. Set up as a possession tactic. So this role again is going to change. There's a few roles that are interchangeable, and that's not a bad thing, by the way. Don't think of that as uncertainty. It's just something that can be fluid and change around. So I think we've got a decent base here. Next of all, what we need are the team instructions. So because we're a mid-table team, I'm going to start as balanced. I think that's probably, it's not the way you should look at it, but it's not a bad way to look at it. So I don't think just because you're a strong team, you should be on positive or attacking, and just because you're a bad team, you should be on defensive. No, you can still be attacking as a bad team, and you can still be defensive as a good team. But I think for the purposes of this, is because I want to see, and it's a brand new tactic, if you click on the balanced one here and read it, it says, this is arguably the most important of all match mentalities. By carefully balancing risk and reward, it enables the manager to assess the match and how well their team is playing prior to switching to a more specialist tactical plan. I think that perfectly encapsulates what I want. So we're going to stay on defensive for that. Now, in possession. Now, what you can do for in possession when you're building these team instructions, what you need to think about is two things. So, how do you want to play? What your players are capable of doing, and how good your players are in relativity to the rest of the division. And all three of them are the same importance, but they all need to be thought about when you're doing this. So don't just go fully attacking when you've got the mid-table teams, because it's just not going to work. You'll get a win here and there, you will. I'm not saying that. You'll probably end the season in mid-table, and you'll get beaten against the top teams, and you'll beat all the teams below you, and you'll finish where you should finish. But I think we can nick some points off these teams at the top. And I think with a better tactical plan, a more structured one, I think we can be consistently better than the teams below us. And I think we can sneak ahead of where we should be finishing. So when we're in possession, I think standard passing is fine. I don't want them to go short passing because I'm not necessarily care about a possession system. But if one of our fast attackers are running behind, I don't want them to play the ball to the defensive midfielder or the playmaker. I want them to find the ball in behind. What we're going to do is we're going to go with higher tempo because, again, I want to get the ball a bit further forward. Now, what might happen here is, when we play against teams near the bottom of the league, we might make the tempo down a bit. But I think as a standard thing, we're going to play with a bit of a pace to our game, and then hopefully we can get the ball forward and score some goals. So I don't think there's much else. Again, passing to space is something I think that should be changed game on game, because sometimes you might want the ball in behind if a team's playing further up the pitch, right? If they're pressing up, passing to space behind is fantastic. So against PSG and Lyon and Monaco, I'll probably want to put that on. And then against teams at the bottom, I probably want to click play out of defence. But I think for this, I do want play out of defence. I do generally want my defenders to try and play the ball up the pitch. I do. I don't think we're fantastic in the air. I don't think we're great. It's all right. We're all right in the air. But I do think we want to play out with the ball. In transition, I think when we've lost the ball, I definitely want to counter-press. I want to counter-press for a couple of reasons. Mainly because I want my players to be higher up when we've lost the ball, because I don't think we're amazing at defending, right? And I think we've got some very mobile front players. We've got fast players up front. We've got players with decent anticipation and just good. I don't want to say gegenpress, but I'm going to say it. Good gegenpress qualities, right? We've got very dynamic, good work rate, mobile front players. So counter-press is going to go on. Counter-attacking, again, something I'm going to put on. Again, I think this should be based on how you're playing too, and it will be. So if we're playing teams at the bottom of the leagues, we're going to take counter off, because what we want is we want our players to be more considered with the approach. We don't want to just as soon as we get the ball, we don't want to just be whacking the ball forward, because we want to take control of the game against the teams at the bottom. But again, when we're playing against PSG, Lyon, Monaco, etc., we're going to want to counter attack. So for now, I'm going to leave it off actually. And then as we're looking at the defenders, I think we want to distribute to our centre backs. I think that's the best thing to do. Now, if we're playing against two strikers, maybe we want to distribute to our full backs, because we don't want to be distributing to two centre backs against two strikers, because they'll just be marking each other and will cause all kinds of chaos. So maybe we click on both, and then I don't have to remember, and the goalkeeper will go to whatever he decides. Right? That sounds good to me. And then out of possession, because we've got counter press, I do want a bit of a. I do want us to trigger a press more often. But I think our mid block is fine. I don't think we need to high press, but again, we could change that in a game if we're looking to try and suffocate the teams near the bottom of the league. But I think a mid block is fine, and I think the defensive line at standard is absolutely fine. We don't need to go overkill. We don't need to do anything stupid. But more often, I do like the look of that. I do think we should. We don't want to give teams too much time on the ball, because anyone can hurt you, and I don't think, especially at right back, we're very good at defending. So I don't want these left wingers getting in behind. So more often is nice. I like that. Again, something else, prevent short goalkeeper distribution. It's something that you can judge based on each game. It's something you need to look out for. If they're trying to play short, maybe you want to click it. If they're not, maybe leave it off and just let them kick it long, so your players are in a nice compact shape. Something, again, to keep your eyes on. A lot of these instructions, especially this year Match Engine, it requires more tweaks in game. So if it's looking like a player on the opposition team is looking to get in behind a lot more, maybe you click on drop off more, right? If you've got very fast centre backs and they've got a really target man's type striker and not much pace up front, maybe you step up more and try and suffocate them in. I think a lot of this year's game especially is the match engine is better this year. There's a lot of frustrating things, but we won't get into all that. But I do think it is better. I do think it is more, what's the word? A little bit more complex. It works a bit differently than last year's. So I think that's a nice little start There's other things like pressing traps. Again, if you've got very high work rate, good central midfielders with good mental attributes that can get around the pitch, good anticipation, positioning, etc. Maybe you want to trap them on the inside, right? Good work rate. I think what a lot of people do when they're building tactics is they just click on everything. They just go high line, high press, high this, and then they complain of, why am I conceding 70 goals a season, Lewis? Well, it's like, you're going to do that. You are going to do that. You need to be more pragmatic and think about it. And I think this is a good balance for right now. I like this balance. Next thing what we want to do is to make sure this tactic gives me my best indication of how good it's going to be, is we need to click on this button here. And it's a fantastic little button that I don't see many people use that should do. So it's show tactical familiarity. Click that, and it does this. So it shows you Savanier right now doesn't really understand the Mazzala role in terms of our tactics. So his creative freedom is on the awkward stage at the bottom. So we need to sort that. We need to sort all these things out. So the first thing you need to do, I'm not going to do it for every single one on screen, but for I need to do this for every single player. So I'll do this off thing, but I'll just show you one. So we need to click on him. We need to go into the development tab, and we need to change him to the position that we're using, and the role and the duty, right? And then what will happen is this bar, as we play pre-season, there's bars for everybody, not just the team up here, but the individual players, they'll all fly up. And then what happens then is you can get a true indication of how your tactic will do. If all the tactical familiarity bars are down here, then it doesn't matter how good or how bad your tactic is, if they don't understand your setup, your strategy, your formation, your style, they do not understand. So it doesn't matter. You can have the best tactic ever. If the players don't know it, I'm going to keep saying it, they won't do it, and you will look like you have a bad tactic. So make sure through pre-season, before the season starts, you go into every single player, whatever role you decide, and you make them train on the role in there. And what will happen is they'll all speed up, right? This one at the bottom here will speed up. Now these ones here will go just in general anyway from playing games in this formation. But what you want to do is if you go into training and you click on maybe some rest periods, and what you want to do is match preparation, match tactics is fantastic for tactical familiarity. Teamwork, tactical familiarity, right? All these things help match practice, tactical familiarity. And then by the first game of the season, you should have these bars all at least 85 to 90% full, and 5 games, 6 games into the season, you should then hopefully be able to just fly, and your players should be, they should know your tactic down to the very last detail, and results should be much better. In this video, I'm not touching player instructions for now, because it's something I don't do at the start of the season. I need to see how the tactic performs as a whole, and then I'll go and finely tune and tweak them up. What I would say as well is don't just go into every single player, and when you're choosing their role, don't just find the highest star rating and just go with that. Because like I said at the start of the video with the full-backs, the wing-backs, is if I just put them all on, because he's 3.5 stars there, that doesn't mean he's better at that. Because he won't perform better at that if it doesn't work in my tactic, right? His attributes might be better as a wing-back attack, but wing-back attack in my system, in our formations that we're creating, may not be the best. Don't just go and blindly pick the best stars for each role. It's not the best. Sometimes it is. This guy very, very clearly suits a Mazzala attack or a central midfield attack. So that's fine. For example, I'll make you think about it in a different way to try and make it make sense. Because that's what I like to do on my channel. I like to get you guys thinking about FM and play it differently and more in depth. So my example that I would say is, if you have 3 central midfielders and they're all playmakers, would you give them all playmaker roles? I hope not. Don't do it. It's a rhetorical question. Don't do it. That's my point. Is just because you've got 3 good players and they're all good at playmaking doesn't mean they should all be playmakers, because that's not balanced. All your players will be doing there is they'll be looking to play the ball inside all times. They'll be sometimes ignoring your wide men if they're in good position, because playmakers attract the ball, and it'll just cause like clumps of play in the middle of the pitch. And if you play against a team that can press inside, they'll just take you to bits. So like I said, it's just something to think about. Don't just blindly go on the best stars, the best role. Now, that's all I'm going to cover in this video. But what I'm going to say at the end of the video is I am going to play this save off stream. So this could be a part 1 of the video, right? We could do a part 2 of sort of like an evolution to the tactic as we get better or whatever. I'm not promising that. We'll see what people think to it. If you guys like it, put it in the comments below. That'd be fantastic. And tell me you want a part 2 and what you want to see in part 2s and all that stuff. And I will cover everything. There's no problem. It's just I need to know what you guys want me to cover and what you guys are struggling at so I can help you out best. So if you hit the subscribe button, that'd be fantastic. If you hit the like button, that would also be fantastic. And until next time, I'll catch you then.